It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Chicago. And it's 7 p.m. in New York City. Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dog DeCipio. Very late Mad Dog DeCipio on WWTF Radio. This is What's the Buzz, America's Best Podcast. I'm joined by Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. How are you, Amelia?
Doing good. How are you?
You know how I am.
Better late
Running
than never.
late. Coming into studio late. Hey, what a mess. This is what happens when you have a guest and you're looking for your guest to arrive.
Yeah.
You know?
Right?
It's like, where the heck did Doc Diamond go? He's not here. We have a special show tonight. Here he is.
He's coming in.
And I just said to the people, where the hell is Doc Diamond? And here he is.
Hey,
How are you, Doc?
Hey.
buddy.
Hello, Angelo.
How you doing, Tina? What's up, kid?
I'm okay.
I want everybody to meet my friend, my longtime friend, and our special guest commentator tonight. He is a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame inductee. He is a member of several Wrestling Hall of Fames. In addition to gracing the rings of the WWF, NWA, WWE, oh my goodness, WCW, I believe also, right, Doc?
No, NWA. Don't forget the NWA.
Right, NWA, WWF, WWE, NWA jersey for sure.
Yes.
And I should tell everybody that Doc was one of the people who brought you, along with Larry Sharp, brought you the now famous, once infamous Monster Factory, home of champions. That's what Buddy Rogers used to call it, Doc. Remember that?
Yeah. Yes. That was in 1983. That was Buddy Rogers, Charlie Fulton,
Yeah.
me, and Larry Sharp. Pretty boy Larry Sharp.
Pretty boy. I'll tell you what, I saw Doc the other night, ladies and gentlemen. Doc invited me to a wrestling show in Somerdale, New Jersey. And I have to tell you, and it's just straight shoot, I haven't been to a live wrestling show in I don't know how long, okay? And I went to a local show, and I've got to tell you, it was actually a pretty damn good show, Doc.
Yes, it was. Vinny the Fixer put that together.
Vinny Fixer and his tag team partner, who I love, Patch.
Yes, Pat.
Well,
Yes.
if you guys want to see a guy who can mix comedy wrestling and old school hardcore, Patch and Fixer are the two guys that you got to watch. Doc, we have you here for a couple of nights. We're going to talk about Kevin Sullivan, who we recently lost, and tomorrow night we're going to talk about the life and career of Psycho Sid, Sid Justice, Sid Vicious, Lord Humongous. Sid Udy had many names in wrestling. But tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Doc Diamond. I came across a few photos that both of us are familiar with, but I want to show everybody probably the best endorsement for Doc Diamond you'll ever hear. This is from our friend, our late friend, Nikolai Volkov. Watch this.
Hello, my name is Nikolai Volkov, and this is my good friend Doc Diamond. We come all the way from New Jersey here to Amsterdam, New York, see one of the best Hall of Fame in the world, Wrestling Hall of Fame in the world. And we are proud to be here. We are very glad to be here. Even we have a lousy trip, a long trip, but when we come here, everything is worth it. What do you say, that?
Yeah, Tony Polano's done a perfect job with this place. The history of wrestling, you got to come see it. It's a must, especially if you're a worker. This is a place to come for the history of wrestling, and also to come to Devastation University in Feasterville, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, if you want to become a professional wrestler, one of the best schools in the United States for professional wrestling is in Easterly, Pennsylvania. Dr. Diamond Demonstration Wrestling.
Well, I'll tell you what, brother. You don't get any better, like, ringing endorsement than that, for sure. You and I have some friends, and we've talked about our friends before. Tony Villano,
Yeah.
Seth Turner, Ray Apollo, of course. Everybody, who the hell is Ray Apollo, Mad Dog? Doink the Clown, my friend. Doink the Clown.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
It was Doink after the late Matt Bourne left us. Doc, how you feeling tonight, bro?
Hanging in there. Hanging in there. Got to have my eye surgeries done, but hanging in there. But Ray Apollo, he worked for me a couple of times. I had him down to a show I did for a children's home down in Mount Holly.
Yeah.
On that same card, had Tommy Cairo, had I brought Ox Baker in.
Oh, God. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And
I remember.
Missing Link. I brought Missing Link. Dewey Roberts. I brought him out of retirement.
Oh, Dewey. Oh,
Yep. First
that
show,
was,
he worked for me
in
first
my
show out of
opinion,
retirement.
the most underrated wrestler ever, Dewey Robinson, the Missing Link.
Yes. Yes.
Let's talk tonight, Doc. We're going to pay tribute tonight to a guy we all knew, Kevin Sullivan.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit. I want to get into some preliminary stuff. When did you first meet Kevin?
I met Kevin about 87, 88, somewhere around there.
What was your first impression of the Taskmaster?
In the locker room, he was a teacher. He really was. He wasn't what you've seen on TV.
No, not at all. He was an amazing, very generous guy.
Yes.
There's a lot of controversy. Doc, we've heard this before. A lot of controversy about Kevin and his use of the satanic gimmick.
Right.
But here's the thing that people just don't understand. There was nothing satanic about that gimmick.
You're right.
The gimmick had nothing to do with the devil or Satan or anything. It had to do.
Had to do with getting him over.
Yeah. Here's what got him over.
Yes.
And you're going to laugh when I tell you. What got him over was an African fertility rite and the god of fertility in Africa called Abu Din. That's what this gimmick was. It was Abu Din.
Right. People don't realize it. Yeah.
Summoning the forces of the other world. He never said the underworld, the other world.
Right.
Right? And people in the South were afraid of this guy because they thought he was, if he walked near you, you were going to burst into fire,
Right. Yeah.
But I have to tell you that was, in my opinion, and for whatever my opinion's worth, Doc.
But it's a gimmick. It's like when Kamala would come out.
Oh,
And,
God,
and
sure.
people were scared to death of him. Things like that. I mean, you got to get over.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, man. Kamala, you and Kamala and other guys have spent a lot of time at my father's restaurant in Camden, New Jersey. There's a picture here I'm going to show you tonight, too. And you'll remember it because you were feeling pretty good that we were all feeling pretty good. But I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But one of the things that people need to know is that Kevin Sullivan had, bar none, probably the sharpest, keenest mind for booking of any human being in wrestling, period, bar none.
Yes.
Second only to Eddie Graham.
Yes.
And Doc, Eddie Graham, the late Eddie Graham, and even to some great extent, Doc, his son, Mike Graham, the late Mike Graham. It's a shame we had two of the greatest bookers in wrestling in the same family, and they both committed suicide.
Yeah.
Well,
That whole family, it's a shame.
Yeah, yeah. So, your opinions of? Let me ask you this.
Yeah, but you got to put Pritchard in there, Dr. Pritchard.
Oh, absolutely, Dr. Tom for sure.
Yes.
I'll tell you who else. Believe it or not, there's another Pritchard that has a pretty good mind for booking. Bruce. Bruce has a pretty good mind for booking. When they let him, the
Yeah.
problem is that I don't think that he has been allowed to exercise his booking mind the way he wanted to.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
You're right. You're right. It's just like a lot of people don't know, like Terry Funk and Abdul the Butcher.
Yeah.
Like what Abby's going through now. I mean, a lot of the guys are going through it. You know, when you've seen Kevin Sullivan and you've seen him ask for donations on Facebook, and the same thing with Abby. You know, I mean, these guys, they put their blood, sweat, and tears in this business.
Yeah.
And I don't want to offend anybody, but it's like you're begging for money.
Yeah.
You know, because when you get in your 70s, Nikolai wrestled into the 70s.
Yeah.
He put his heart in it. But if somebody doesn't save, or you don't have good insurance somewheres, or whatever your situation is, I mean,
And I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, Doc, because Kevin Sullivan, who we're talking about tonight, was one of the very handful of guys that not only saved his money, but invested his money. He had 2 houses. He had boats, cars, jet skis. He had a house in Florida and a house up in Oregon. So I mean, he was a wealthy guy when he passed away.
Right, but hospital bills will eat that up.
Yeah, no shit, bro.
Yeah,
hospital bills will suck that up. But on the other hand, he was able to make a living.
Yes.
Sadly, he had problems that he kept from everybody. He had congestive heart failure.
Yes.
He had some internal problems. He suffered, a mild heart attack at one point. I understand that he may even have had a stroke, as what I'm reading. But at least Kevin was able to live his twilight years, debt free, basically.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doc, I want you to meet my co-host. Her name is Amelia Chapman.
Hello.
Around here, her gimmick name is the Pitbull.
Okay. Well,
And I took that name.
You got Gary Wolf now.
That's where I got her name from.
Oh, okay.
I got it. Yeah, well, I got to tell Gary, if you're out there watching, and I'm sure Doc will get this copy of the show to you. My Pitbull co-host is named after Gary Wolf, Gary the Pitbull Wolf.
Okay.
Gary and Anthony, God rest his soul.
Yes.
And I took my name from Mad Dog Vachon.
Okay.
The Mad Dog. Amelia, questions for Doc Diamond.
My dogs are acting up a little bit, so I apologize. First of all, there's somebody outside walking around. First of all, but yes, and I see that as far as Kevin wasn't trained professionally, but I know that he got it right away. He was really good, talented, and directed his wrestling. And when I met him, I was really young, and he was like, thank you for coming up to me, saying hi to me, and you and your sister, but you really can't be here because my gimmick is I'm supposed to be the bad guy, but it was really nice to meet you. He was really nice to us fans, and I got that. But when he was in the ring, he was really set on being the bad guy, and I love that because he knew who he was in the ring, and then the outside, of course, he was who he was on the outside. And was he?
Yeah.
Was he that type of a person that he knew as soon as he was in the ring, he had to do his job and then just went on to the next date?
Doc, I guess what Amelia's asking is the Kevin in and out of the ring.
2 different people.
Tell everybody, because you've been in the business a long time. I want you to tell people, and take your time. I want you to tell people how a wrestler is able to split himself.
How would he be able to do that?
Well, but you got to look at it, 70s, 80s, 90s. A lot of it was your kayfabe. You know what I mean? And anytime they were in public, or anytime they're going to the ring, you had to be your gimmick.
Mhm.
And there is
Oh,
guys, there are
sure.
guys that live their gimmick. Don't get me
Yes.
wrong. The same guy,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
same
well,
guy,
that's
the same guy.
that's the extreme.
Yes,
Yeah.
you've seen guys that
That's the
what you've seen in
extreme.
the ring, like for instance, Abdul the Butcher.
Mhm.
Yeah,
What you've seen in the ring, he was that way. Unless
that's
you're sitting in his house.
that's Abby. That's just the
Yeah.
way Abby is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, Abby has been Abby for so long, he forgot that his name is Larry Reeves.
Right. Yeah.
That's the difference between Abby.
Mhm.
Okay, but somebody like
Like
Larry
Kevin.
Zemansky and Doc Diamond are two different people.
Yes, except
You
when
know.
I dress. The guys always used to kid me. They would ask me, Doc, do you have that same outfit? You got pajamas look like that tux you wear? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. You go to
Oh,
bed with that on? Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I first became aware of Kevin Sullivan working jobs for Vince McMahon's dad, Vince McMahon Sr.
Okay.
Kevin Sullivan did something, he talked about it in an interview. He used to go into Vince McMahon Sr.'s office and ask him, and you got to have balls to do this,
Mhm.
ask the promoter if you could see his book.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that takes balls. But
Yeah.
here's what he was doing. He
The answer
talked
might
about
be
it.
don't let the door, don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out.
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
Right.
But he did that he said, because McMahon said to him, McMahon Sr. said to him, what do you want to see the book for? He goes, I want to see the finishes. I want to see how you do this. Because one day I want to be able to do that. Don't forget, at the time, he was, like a 30-year-old upstart. He's still new and, still a
Right.
greenhorn in the business.
Right.
Right? He wasn't smart. I don't think he was like fully smartened up either.
Right.
Right. At that time. Right.
Right, exactly. Because it was not unusual for a guy 25 or 30 to be new in the business. Now they're, 17, 18 years old.
Yeah, I was gonna say all young guys. Yeah. That know
And they
nothing.
all want to be champions 5
Yeah.
minutes into the game,
Exactly.
Right.
because we're not breeding wrestlers anymore, Doc. We're breeding belt marks.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Everybody wants a belt.
Yeah.
Here I got a belt that's a size 40. You want it here?
Yeah.
Wear my fucking belt.
Right.
But as far as Kevin Sullivan is concerned, I think his enduring legacy, his lasting legacy, is going to be his ability to work,
Yes.
to go babyface or heel on a dime. And I've seen that happen a dozen times. His ability to take a bad situation and make it work for him.
Yes.
If you can take a wild card like Brian Pillman, God rest his soul, and I know his son Brian Jr., if you could take Brian Pillman, the loose cannon, and that was him, by the way, that wasn't no gimmick.
Yeah.
He was kind of off,
Yes.
If you could do that and make him work and make him look good, then you're doing something really, really well.
Well, yeah. Well, you're only as good as who you're working.
True. This is true, Doc.
Okay. I mean, you can know everything, get in that ring, and if the other guy does, he can make you look bad.
Oh, somebody can make you look bad in a hurry, brother. I got news for you.
Yes.
Yeah. The other thing we have to remember about Kevin Sullivan, talking about, his legacy in wrestling. He's a guy who transcended various territories and was able to pick up working their style. For example, Doc, you know this to be true. The way the Monster Factory trained was different than the way Devastation University trained.
Yes.
Different than the way WWE trains, different than the way Alpha and Sika trained at their gym
Yes.
in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
But Kevin could go to Texas and work Texas style. He could go to Florida and work Florida style.
He can go Canada.
Georgia, and he can go anywhere and work their style. Because having done this for 40 plus years, Doc Diamond, that the East Coast style of wrestling,
It's different than the West Coast.
I think we have the hardest style of wrestling to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. But I also think, Doc, and I hope you'll agree with me, I also think that we on the East Coast have the best style of wrestling.
Yeah. Well, I put a video up on and Tommy Cairo answered to it, Iron Man. He answered to it, and I asked him where'd these people go, and it was a match between Terry Funk and Stan Hansen. And
Oh man,
they were beating the living, what out of each other.
oh yeah.
You know,
I saw that was a match from Japan.
yes, you're right.
I saw that Japanese match. They beat the shit out of each other.
Yes, yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
And
And,
if you can work first, you got to remember too, Doc, that
Mm-hmm.
Japanese style that they call the strong style. There's very little work. There's a lot of shoot involved in Japanese
Yes.
wrestling.
Yes,
Because when they slap and they punch, you can hear it.
yeah.
There's a reason you can hear it.
That's because they're
Now,
hitting.
Amelia, I don't know if you're aware of this, but
Mhm.
in Japan,
Right.
the audience is quiet when you're wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're quiet. They don't applaud until after the match is over.
Mhm.
I'll tell you who else was big over in Japan. Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody.
Oh
Frank
yeah, I remember
Brody.
Bruiser Brody was, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank Bruiser Brody Goodrich. And by the way, his wife Barbara is a dear friend of mine. I want Barb to know we're thinking about her. We're praying for her. Barbara needs your prayers and your help and support. She's going through some health issues right now. We certainly send our well wishes out to Barb Goodish, Bruiser Brody's wife.
Yeah.
Doc, you're how would you critique Kevin Sullivan's ability to handle young talent?
Oh, he was willing to sit down and actually talk to you. I mean,
Exactly.
where a lot of guys that you can go up to, and a guy can tell if you're scared to go up to somebody, and a lot of guys can tell that that's how you're perceived.
Yeah, the intimidation factor,
Yeah.
Doc. Afraid.
Sure.
That I'll tell you who was like that. I'll tell you very much who was like that.
Mhm.
Bruno Sammartino, the late Bruno Sammartino. People were afraid to go up to Bruno because
Yeah.
he was, you didn't want to piss him off because they knew Bruno could rip your head off.
Yeah.
But Bruno was just the nicest, sweetest, and I'm honored to say that I knew Bruno and he knew me. That was the important thing. He knew me. Everybody knew Bruno, but if he remembered you,
Yes.
then you were special to him.
And I could remember when I went to, I think it was 2013 Hall of Fame up in New York.
Yeah.
Tony was running, and I got to talk to him there, and I couldn't believe he remembered me from years ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't at that time. I haven't seen him in like 20 years,
Yeah.
but he still remembered who Doc Diamond was.
Oh God, sure. Doc, I want to show everybody a slideshow I put together. Now you might kill me for this, but I'm gonna show this.
Not just a diner, is it?
No, here you go. Watch. Check it out. Now, Doc, there's a picture here. Is this from? Is this picture? Is this from where they inducted you in the Hall of Fame?
Right there. That's Neidhart there with me.
Yeah, Jim Neidhart.
Yes.
But did they? Is this the? I'm trying to remember if this night was the night that they inducted you.
They had Greg Valentine was there the night they inducted me.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It was Valentine and Nikolai. I had the honor of both of them.
God. Oh, here. Speaking of Stan Hansen, there he is.
Yes.
Of course, that's
That's what I was
Savio
finished.
Vega. Right.
What's that?
That's Savio Vega, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because I met Savio and I recognized him right away.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this stuff. Here you go. Watch. There's a lot of pictures in here. Now, these are two guys that both worked for you and me.
Yes.
The late, Walt
Big
McDonald, Big Slam,
Yeah.
and the guy in the mask, Amelia.
Yes.
That's the Patriot, but you'd be surprised if I tell you who he is.
Oh, wow.
His name is Tom Brandy.
What a good guy. Yeah.
Hell of a guy. Great body, great worker. He's also the guy that played a character called Salvatore Sincere in the WWF.
Yes.
Doc, who's the guy with the dark sunglasses with the blue jacket?
That would be me, wouldn't it?
No, you got
You're looking. Oh, you're looking. You gotta remember. I got bad eyes here.
yeah, but yeah, I should have said. Well, that's why I said the guy with the glasses and blue jacket, because your jacket was black.
Yeah.
Now I know the guy. You're let me see how smart Amelia. Amelia,
Uh-huh.
the guy in the middle. Who do you think that is?
Oh my goodness. Don't remember who that is, but he looks familiar to me.
He should.
Tag
His
team
name is
starts with a
Bill.
D. The tag team starts with a D.
Uh,
It's a tag team, known as tag team.
is that Demolition?
Yep.
It is, isn't it?
Which one was it? Axe or Smash?
Let's see. That's probably Smash in the middle.
No, that's Axe. That's Bill
Axe.
Eadie.
Ah,
Bill Eadie was also the masked superstar.
I didn't recognize him with all that without the makeup.
There's Dr. Tom.
Yes.
Now, Doc, this photo here, was this taken at your wrestling school?
That was my school in Seoul. Yes.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I see that you guys are in the ring.
Yeah. That's the
I
one.
also see that ring is real close to that wall, brother.
Right.
That's the one I bought from Bundy, King Kong Bundy, back in 2004.
Oh, when Chris had his school, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had well, I want to talk, and after we see this slideshow, I'm going to talk a little bit about wrestling schools with you. But let's take a look at these pictures. Now, you and I, Doc, we know who these guys are because they both worked for us.
Yes.
That's Chief Thunder Mountain,
God
the
bless
late
his soul.
the late Chief Thunder Mountain.
Yep.
Now, the guy, the cowboy, was he part of the Motor City Madmen?
No.
Who was that? Who's the cowboy?
That's Big Hoss, Gary Lejambre.
That's it, Big Horse. Okay. I gotcha.
He went to Japan for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He's the one Terry Funk took him over for me.
There's our friend, the late Larry Sharp and Chief Thunder Mountain, and you've got your finger right under his nose like he's going to sneeze, and you're trying to stop his sneeze. That was funny. I was there that night, by the way. There's Bam Bam.
Yeah, that's Bam Bam. Yep.
I was telling Amelia because she's she's not too familiar with local wrestling here, but a lot of the legends came out of the Monster Factory. Let me ask you a question, Doc.
Yeah.
What was it about the Monster Factory that made that place so fucking special?
Well, the first was because of Buddy Rogers and Larry Sharp, and then you got to include, like I said, Charlie Fulton. A lot of people forget Charlie Fulton did a lot of the training for
Yes, he did.
Yes.
But the Monster Factory had, besides having good trainers and people with good reputations, the Monster Factory had this larger than life reputation.
Yes.
How did that happen so quickly?
Well, because there was no other schools that were out there really, especially on
What it really was kind of the first, wasn't it, Doc?
Yes, it was.
Mhm.
It
Definitely.
really, people don't understand that the Monster Factory really was like the first wrestling school. This is one of my favorite pictures of you, Doc. You and Captain
Yeah,
Lou.
Lou Albano. God bless
Well,
him.
it,
Yes.
it also
I'm gonna tell you
too.
what.
I think
You-
is you trained when wrestling was actually wrestling
Yes.
too.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. You believe
know,
it? I got
yeah.
news for you, Amelia.
Hmm.
Old men used to get into fights because they believed this shit was real.
Oh yeah.
Dr.
This is-
Dave Schultz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Before the computer, Doc smartened everybody up.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's Bam Bam again.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Doc? I'm gonna get personal with you for a minute, and I
Okay.
promise I won't do it a lot.
It's okay. can
You
get
knew
personal.
Bam Bam probably better than anybody, even better than Larry.
Yes.
Why was that? He was so fucking talented. That man was the best big man ever to ever live in pro wrestling.
Well,
The best big man ever. What was it about? And I think his name was Scott.
yes.
What was it about Scott that was so troubling to his mind? Why did he die so young?
Well, he loved his kids to death. And a lot of the arguments went between, because I would get phone calls at 2-3 o'clock in the morning that his wife, because anywhere he would go, he would take his kids. His kids were there when he was working, wrestling. His kids were there,
Yeah.
And when he was going through his divorce, things like that, his wife played a lot of mind games with him, with the kids. He just couldn't take it. And
In other words, his wife was using the kids as like a pawn.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, constantly.
Yeah, you can't do that with a guy's kids.
Yeah,
No.
Because, you got to remember something, folks. These guys spend 300 days a year on the road.
yes,
They live out of their suitcase.
Yeah.
Some of them live out of their car
Yeah.
on the road.
yeah.
And
if you're in pain, things like that. I mean, there's always somebody's going to step into your place. You go into that ring in pain.
yeah.
And just unfortunately, Scott went to, medication and drinking.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's a lot of guys' problems,
Yeah.
because there's always somebody, in line to take your place.
I want everybody to listen to what Doc just said, because I'm going to tell you something. The Undertaker was asked by a reporter, why did you wrestle in pain so much? And this is the Undertaker said this. Listen to this answer. It doesn't matter how big you are in this business,
Yeah.
there's always somebody ready to step in.
Yep.
Yes.
So that tells you Mark Calloway, the Undertaker, even he was worried about his spot. So yeah, Bam Bam was a guy who was worried about his spot. There's our friend Abdullah the Butcher. I got news for you. I made Abdullah the Butcher laugh so hard one time, I thought he was going to shit his pants. I want to tell you where it was. It was the NWA. I'm a lifetime member of the Cauliflower Alley,
Okay.
as you are, Doc.
Yes.
And I was at the Cauliflower Alley anniversary of the NWA in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
And you were there. You remember that show.
Yes.
Gino Moore and the late Dennis Carluzzo and
I
George.
I might have had a couple of drinks in me by then, but yeah.
I'm sure he did. Because I know I was ready to have George Napolitano from, and of course, Bill Apter was there. Anybody that was anybody was there.
In wrestling, yep.
And I didn't know this, but Abdullah the Butcher likes toilet humor. He likes potty jokes.
Right.
Oh, no.
And I told him a potty joke, and I thought he was going to fall the fuck off his chair. He was laughing so hard. Now, Doc, you're standing next to a gentleman here in this picture.
That's
Is that
Frankie G.
okay? Frankie, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure because he kind of looked a little bit like Carmine Despirito in that picture.
Right. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Now that's one of the hillbillies there?
Yeah. Yes.
Which one is that, Doc?
That's let me get a little closer here. Oh, that's Tina's boyfriend. Thanks for showing that one.
Okay. Now this looks like
that's Big Mike. That's Bruiser Blackwell.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I know who he wrestled in a battle royale for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What a kind heart, man.
Yeah. Oh, there's Sarge.
Yeah.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
By the way, I
Good
want
people.
everybody to hear me because there's a great show coming on Netflix.
Yeah, I've seen that. Slaughter. Yep.
Yeah, it's called Slaughter. I want everybody to check out that show. Also, be aware that the WWE is going to be on Netflix Monday Night Raw. They're moving to Netflix, uncensored. Let's see here. There's Nikolai. Who's next to Nikolai in that picture? Is
That's Rebel.
Oh, is that
Rock
Rock and Rebel?
Rock and Rebel. Yeah. That's
He's
sad. there,
he's
too.
gone now. Tragic situation.
Yeah. That's sad.
Yeah, that's his name's Chuck.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember Chuck. Okay. This is the picture I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about this picture, Doc. Do you know where
that was involved in a little couple of drinks too.
Yeah. Do you know where that picture was taken?
Yes, that was in Philly. It was a bar in Philly. Larry Sharp was there too.
I'm going to tell you where that picture was taken. It wasn't Philly. It was Camden.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to tell you how I know.
Okay.
You see those pictures on the wall?
Okay.
I'm the one that put them there.
Oh, okay.
That was my father's bar, Market Street Cafe in Camden.
Oh, okay. Then I was drinking.
Yes, you were very heavily, as a matter.
Okay. Okay. And that's Jim next to it. That's Jim.
Now,
McPherson, Jungle Jim.
Yep. And you see where JYD is sitting?
Yes.
Okay. Right next to JYD, sitting right near you, was my father.
Oh, okay.
It's not in the picture, but he was literally right next to Junkyard Dog.
Because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Samu was there that night too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Sammy and oh God.
Because if you go down past that picture, isn't the bathroom's right down that way, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. It's right next to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know where we're at now. Yeah.
Yeah. You're at my dad's restaurant, Market Street Cafe, because that show that night was at Woodrow Wilson High School in Camden.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I know this shit because I was there, man.
So was I.
Now, this guy was a sweet, sweet guy. I liked him. Yeah. That was Chris Pally. You know him better as King Kong Bundy. Chris was a great guy.
Screen off.
Amazing guy. Those of you who don't know, King Kong Bundy is a Jersey guy. He's from Glassboro. He was from Glassboro, New Jersey. Now, Doc, is that your school or is that Bundy's school where you're at? Or is that a show?
That's at a show.
Oh, I was going to say, it looks like it might have been a show. Okay.
Yeah, that's a show.
You know who this guy was?
He's laughing.
That's Barbie Behemoth.
Yes. Yeah, Big Jack.
Yep, Big Jack worked for me under the name Behemoth Barbie in Williamstown. He came out with a big blonde wig on
Yes.
with that dress,
Yes.
wearing a championship belt made out of cardboard that had to be 20 feet long. I'm not shitting you.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not even kidding you. Because I still have the video. I've got the video of that show, and every time I watch it, I piss myself laughing.
His entrance was great, though. It really was.
Oh God, yeah, amazing.
Yes.
That's the best part of his match was the entrance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you're on top of Bam Bam's shoulders, okay?
Yes.
Was he getting ready to drop you? What happened in this picture?
Yeah, that's at the original Monster Factory in Lumberton, at the airplane hangar.
That was at the airport hangar. Yep.
Yes. Yep.
I remember the place well because I got lost getting there. I finally made it.
Yeah, it was back in the woods.
Because I knew Buddy Rogers,
Yeah.
rest his soul. I said, and this is, you got to remember something, folks. This is in the days before cell phones.
Oh, yes.
There were no cell phones. You had to pull over to a pay phone
Yep.
and hope that you were close. I remember, man, a doctor, see, being our age, Doc, and I'm not going to tell everybody how old the doctor is, but I think I'm a little older than the doc.
You looked good the other night.
Oh,
I'm 65, brother. I got news for you.
You were styling and profiling, man, the other night, Saturday night.
Yes, sir. I was
you
feeling
look
pretty
good,
good,
man.
too.
You look. Who's
Speaking
that?
of styling and profiling, these guys, is that the PR SWAT team? Is that Tony Nitro?
No, that's Jim Neidhart.
that's Jim Neidhart. Yeah.
Oh, it's not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's Neidhart next to me. You better get some new eyes.
Yeah. Well, they look Puerto Rican from here.
I'm the Mexican, and you look darker than me.
Now, this was taken at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, Amelia.
Oh, wow.
There's Doc.
Mike Fells is next to me. He used to do my security, but he also helped me if anybody got hurt because he was
Oh,
Right.
wow.
he was EMT. Yeah, yeah,
There's it's a Nick Bockwinkel,
yes. Great.
one of the greatest champions in the AWA. Amelia, you know who Nick Bockwinkel was?
My dad does. He was a big fan.
Every time you say my dad, you make me feel that much older, okay?
My dad's the one that got me into wrestling. Are you kidding?
There's Doc and Bundy. That's at a show.
Let me tell you about Chris. Though he should be in the Hall of Fame. All that between McMahon and him, it should be put to rest, and he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yes.
I mean,
And he
anybody. I mean, he headlined WrestleMania.
Yeah. He headlined a lot of big pay-per-views back in the day. He was a major name.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that pissed me off about that whole situation. It's bad enough that they took his billing away,
Yes.
the top billing, but they never paid him top dollar. They were giving Hogan a per diem of $300 a day. Bundy was getting $25 a day. A per diem, Amelia, if you don't know, a per diem is what you eat with,
Oh,
what
yeah.
you drink with.
Yeah.
That's your spend money,
Your
play
spend
money,
money,
they
yeah.
call it.
Yeah. That's what you use to spend on
Hogan was
whatever.
getting $300 a day plus his salary,
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say more than that.
and it was making $2.5 million a year at the time.
That's ridiculous.
I don't think Bundy broke $100,000,
Right.
Mm-mm.
and that's sad for a guy that headlined WrestleMania
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and a
It was the main
cage
event.
match.
The main event at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let alone being on it.
Cage match with Hogan.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. Jules.
There's the
Strongbow.
Chief.
Yeah, and that's Jules.
Oh, is that Jules Strongbow?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Oh,
Jules
wow.
Strongbow and the Chief Thunder Mountain.
And that was at a school somewhere. Where was the show at?
That was at a show up in Connecticut.
Terrific. There's a lot of pictures there of Bundy.
Yeah.
And it's funny, as I'm looking at the pictures, Chris is getting bigger and bigger with each picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
also when his diabetes was really kicking in too.
Yeah. There you go. This looks like an outside show somewhere, Doc. Where's this at?
Yeah, that's in Clementon Park.
I live right up the street.
Yeah.
I can walk there.
Yeah. That's what I was imagining the Lost Boys, and they're both gone as young as they were.
Yeah. I love this one. It says that. What's up, Doc?
You gotta put that in there.
All right, this looks like Doc Diamond. It looks like Davey O'Hannon and Ray Apollo.
Yes. What a good
Davey O'Hannon, good friend of mine. Davey's my good buddy.
Yeah. What a good guy.
I tell you what, and when I look at pictures like this, see again, I'm remember there's you and Davey.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Kevin Sullivan, who we're talking about. Kevin Sullivan was another one of those guys, them old school guys like Davey O'Hannon, like Ray Apollo, like Doc Diamond, that never really got the recognition.
Exactly. That's what
until it was too late.
Yeah.
Well, give the guy some recognition while he's, young enough to appreciate it.
Or still here to be able to be acknowledged now.
Let me tell you, Davey, he wouldn't take a dime. He would come to my shows, let me put him on the card, it's, to name on the poster,
Yeah.
And he wouldn't ask for a dime. And he'd go pick up like Larry Sharp, Dick Worley, bring it to my shows.
Yeah.
And you do all that driving and, because he lives up north in Jersey,
Yeah.
And wouldn't ask for a dime. I tried to pay him gas money. He wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
What a good heart, man.
This is, I don't know who that is.
That's Tina.
Oh, well, half of her face is blurred out. Huh?
Yeah.
I wonder who the heck it was.
That's
Half her face
in the
is covered.
background. I didn't
this
know
was
her.
a signing show. I remember this one.
Yes.
It was Tony Atlas and you, Nikolai. Oh God.
Johnny Rods was there. Johnny Rods.
Johnny Rods was there. I think Al Snow might have been there too.
Yes, he was.
And this is from the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Now I want to give everybody kind of an idea who's in this picture. Fabulous Moolah, Mae Young, Donna Cristanello, Ray Apollo, Bruno Sammartino, Wendy Richter, Doc Diamond,
Mick Foley.
Mick Foley,
Yes.
Nikolai Volkov,
He's next
Tony
to me.
Milano,
Yep.
Seth Turner.
I think Bruno's in there too, I think.
Bruno's between Mae Young and the blonde. What is her name, Doc? The blonde woman next to Mae Young.
I can't really see. I'm being honest with you. I can't see.
It looks to I think it might be Penny Banner.
Yes, more likely it is. Yes.
Yeah, maybe Penny Banner. I think it's Penny Banner.
Okay.
Because next to Penny Banner is the great Wendy Richter.
Okay. Yeah, because yes, I see Wendy.
Yeah.
And Snooker's in that too, I think.
Yeah,
sure.
Jimmy is Jimmy Snuka is on your side.
Yeah.
And I think he's like I'll tell you here in just a second. Jimmy is standing behind you.
Okay.
He's standing behind you. Who's the ref in this picture? He looks familiar.
That's Ref Rich.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. There's Gino Moore,
Yep.
Eric Sims.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
What a crew that is, huh?
I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
I will say this.
One will take your money.
Mm.
The other one will give you money. But
The one will give you
I
money.
want
The
to
other will take
tell
it.
Amelia, the gentleman with the white shirt on.
Uh-huh.
He was a dear friend of Doc and myself. His name was Gino Moore. He was a promoter for the National Wrestling Alliance, New Jersey. Nice guy, but when it came to business, a very different guy.
Oh wow.
Am I being kind when I say that, Doc?
Yeah, you're being nice about it. He just
Yeah.
wouldn't leave things alone.
Eric Sims, on the other hand, I'm not going to be nice about because he's a piece of shit. And I don't like him and he doesn't like me. So we're good.
Well, if he starts anything with you, let me know because the pit bull will be ready for him.
And this is now Jake. This is when Jake was still under the influence.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Straight shoot, Doc.
Yeah.
Did Jake show up straight or was he tuned up?
Anytime he worked for me, or I'd never seen him where he was sober. Never seen him. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And he's a good guy. He really is.
Oh, he's a great guy. Let's talk about these guys here.
Yeah.
Tell everybody who they are.
Well, go ahead. You got better eyes than me. I can't. The one's Keith. You got Keith Elmer there. George Elmer. He's his father's in the Hall of Fame for martial arts. For martial arts.
George Elmer, for those of you who don't know, was Uncle Elmer. Am I right?
No.
Okay. Who was George Elmer?
Well, like I say, he was in martial arts. He's in the Hall of Fame, martial arts.
Oh, Martial Arts Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Well, who was Uncle Elmer then? Who was that guy?
That he wrestled with Hillbilly Cousin Luke.
Oh shit! Okay.
Remember when they had the big thing with Hillbilly Jim?
Yeah.
He was doing the rock and wrestling.
Yeah.
Cindy Lauper and all that.
Here you go. This is a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Doc Diamond, Cauliflower Alley Club member since '85. That's about when I joined, Doc. 84, 85.
Yeah. I was at
the
the last one they had at the Jetport. Up there in Newark, up that way.
Right.
When Vince McMahon was even there. I mean, everybody you could think of in wrestling was there. Pat Patterson, Captain Lou.
God, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Doc, I want to take a little commercial break right now. We'll be right back, all right?
You got it.
All right. Hold on, you guys. A word from Amelia's favorite sponsor. Take a look at this video, Doc. Amelia loves the guy in this video. Just take a look. Watch the shit.
Do you have sweaty balls? Or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0. Your balls will thank you, and so will we.
Mad Dog Media presents What's the Buzz, WWTF Radio, 88.7 on the BRS Network. Tonight, remembering Kevin Sullivan with Doc Diamond, the master of devastation, University Wrestling, and my friend for more years than he probably wants to remember.
Or could remember. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Brother, I've been around. I started with Larry. Oh, my God. Larry trained me as a referee and manager. Back at the time, and I'm going to show you how far back this, Doc. You'll remember. This was when a young, green behind the ears worker was just making his name. His name was Scott Levy. He was working as Johnny Polo at the time. The world, in very short order, would know him as Raven.
Raven. Yeah.
As Raven.
Yeah.
I worked with Raven before he was Raven.
Scotty the Body.
Yep. Yeah. Remember Johnny Hotbody?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to him, that schmuck? What is he doing these days? He was a nice guy. See, he was Johnny Hotbody. Nice guy. I will say that about him. He was a nice guy, but he's one of these guys, like Doc was talking about before, that believed the gimmick. He believed that that he was the gift of all the women, because he was a good-looking guy who was, jacked up. He was like a musclehead.
Yeah.
Bleach blonde musclehead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bleach blonde Italian musclehead on top of that all. For crying out loud. There was another guy like that too named Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Wasn't all natural. Wasn't all natural.
No, it wasn't all natural whatsoever. Whatsoever. So Doc, let's talk about wrestling. You're going to come back and join us on September 18th. We're going to do a special show called The State of the Wrestling Union.
Okay.
You know how the president does the State of the Union?
Yes.
Well, we're going to do the State of the Wrestling Union. And
aren't they having one
Doc
tonight?
Diamond is going to be our narrator in chief that night. And I'm just going to kind of guide the ship.
What?
So this is a chance for you, Doc, to get all that shit off your chest.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
About a couple of shows.
In other words, here's what we're going to do. We're going to play guest booker. We're going to play guest booker. If Doc Diamond had the book, or as they say in wrestling, if he had the pencil, if Doc had the pencil, what would he do different? We're going to find out, because I'm going to give you some real life situations and say, here we go. We'll do one right now. We'll do one right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. How long do you play it out, Doc? Are they playing it out too long? If you had the pencil, what would you do?
They're playing it out too long.
Thank you. Thank you. What would you do if you had the book?
For them two?
Yes, sir.
I would go more. Yeah, my God, the guy, his father was, I mean, you talk about a superstar, a legend, an icon.
Yeah.
Come on.
Cody's dad, Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't you play off that somehow?
Thank you. What are they fucking waiting for?
Yeah, tell me.
What are they waiting for?
Yeah.
They've got to build it. Doc, you just solved the whole fucking thing in 30 seconds. Use Dusty's, the lineage.
Yes.
Use Dusty's lineage. Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
Bring his brother in if you have to. Dustin.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can still go.
That's what I would do, And I think I'm right. I think you think I'm right. And most people out there, they know.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to. You got to play off of Cody Rhodes, his father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
But he's fallen in the same situation as like Bam Bam Bigelow. They didn't know what to do with him.
And that's, if I have a guy like Bam Bam, let me tell you what I'm doing. If I got a guy like Bam Bam, I'm saving him, and I'm going to use Bam Bam like they used Andre. I'm going to use Bam Bam very sparingly for special big money matches.
Yes.
Big money matches. Think about something, Doc. If you wanted to see Bruno Sammartino back in the day, you didn't watch him on TV. They only had him on TV to promote the arena show.
Yes.
If you wanted to see Bruno, you had to go to the arena or you had to go to the Spectrum.
Yeah.
or Madison Square Garden. You had to go to one of the big houses, right?
Right.
Now they're giving away main events like they don't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
You gotta make the main event special.
Yeah. Not
Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, that's a main event, but they ran it too long.
Yeah.
They gotta put the kibosh on it. Bring Dusty into it, like
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah.
Amelia,
Yes.
if I give you the pencil, what are you doing? How are you booking this thing?
With Cody Rhodes, you mean?
Let me ask you. Here you go.
Mhm.
How are you going to book Gunther?
I haven't really watched wrestling in a while, so I wouldn't be able to tell you how I would be able to do any of that, to be honest with you. Because I stopped watching wrestling because it got boring to me, because it started getting worse and worse and worse for me, because wrestling's not wrestling to me anymore.
Yeah.
Because it stopped losing its effect to me, because it started getting more and more acrobatic. It stopped
Yeah.
losing its faith to me.
I'll tell you what, Amelia, we got it. Doc, listen to this one.
Mhm.
We got somebody that just popped in on our chat here. It's his name is Brother Fluff Salisbury. I love that name.
Mhm.
He says, I'm late in here, but Dusty Rhodes versus Kevin Sullivan in Florida was my introduction to wrestling in 1982. Brother, let me tell you something, Brother Fluff. If that was your introduction to wrestling, then you got a master's class in
Yes.
pro wrestling. That's a clinic. You got broken. They broke cherry on you big and the right way.
Yep.
Because two of the masters of wrestling.
Yeah. You had the honor there. Yep.
Amen, brother. I'm
Mine
gonna tell
was
you
the
what.
mine was the Funk Brothers in Texas when we was to go when I was a little girl.
Oh yeah, listen to this one, Doc. Amelia's from Texas. She got
Yeah.
to see Gino Hernandez.
No,
and who the hell else? Gino and
the Funk Brothers, Terry Funk, remember them?
I know
Dory
who the
Funk.
Funk Brothers. Can I smack you?
And Dory, I worked with Dory.
Hmm.
Oh, Dory was amazing.
Yeah, those are the matches I remember.
And if it wasn't for Terry, like I said, Hoss never wanted. We wouldn't have went to Japan.
Mhm.
Oh
And that
wow,
was
for
and that
real?
was accidental. I was working with Larry Sharp at the CYO in Trenton.
Wow.
Yeah, and Terry really didn't. He knew of me, but really wouldn't know me if he fell over me.
Yeah.
But we just started talking in the locker room, and Hoss was there. We started talking, and
Yeah.
next minute we ended up in Japan.
Wow.
Wow, amazing.
I
What-
mean, it was luck. It was luck,
yeah.
But he knew we could work.
Well, Doc, you're going to be with us tomorrow night too.
Yeah, if you
I'm going to say good night to everybody tonight. We're going to leave you once again with the reason we're here tonight. For Doc Diamond, for Amelia the Pitbull Chapman, I'm Mad Dog DeCipio. We will see you tomorrow night. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Be good to each other, folks. And this one's for you, Kevin. Take care.